There you can see he was already trying to fight back at him. There is the number 11 car of Fabian Schiller, which has made very good progress from 15th on the grid, and a huge crash there. Barrel rolling over. That's absolutely massive, and it's Lance Stroll. Now, we saw the start of that incident. Stroll got the move on Giovinazzi into the chicane. Looked like Giovinazzi was coming back at him on the way out of the corner, but that is a massive crash. Well, it's good to see him moving in the cockpit, and no doubt a little bit shaken. The marshal's coming to check on him. Let's have a replay. Look in the background there, wheel to wheel. He's got his nose in front of Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's almost got a wheel on the grass and then just loses grip, spears into the side of Stroll, and Stroll is just a passenger. And happily, the car landed the right way up the barriers and the fence.
Stroll, who I think is enjoying life at the head of the field. Now, right up behind him is Jensen. Third is Rosenqvist. Let's see who's the real mover in the pack this time. Put your money on Rosenqvist. Here he comes. Goes to the outside of Jensen. Jensen levels. Oh! They all make contact, and it's Rosenqvist who comes off worst. Broken suspension up the escape road into the barriers. Felix Rosenqvist is out of the race. Lance Stroll is out of the race. Jensen is out of the race. Jake Dennis will take over the lead. Rosenqvist, as I said before the start of the race, knows enough about Formula 3. Now look, where's he expected to go? He's on the outside of the road, and it's Stroll who just moves across. Pincers Jensen. Rosenqvist, the completely innocent party in that. Jensen didn't have a great deal to do because he either braked, yes, and still could have been hit, or he steered into Rosenqvist. So there's nothing he can do. It's Lance Stroll who just was determined to... Will Rosenqvist or Giovinazzi make the best start? Let's find out as we go racing. Rosenqvist is away well. He moves across on Giovinazzi, who is away slowly and under pressure from Jake Dennis, who goes to the outside line, and there's contact. Leclerc gets involved with that. So also in the middle of it is one of the Mucka cars, I fear, and that brings out a yellow on the run to the first corner. Was it a Mucka car or was it Lance Stroll? It could be Stroll as they work their way out of the hairpin. The cars now thread their way for the first time down to the Hugenholzbocht, and it is 25 Lance Stroll, I'm afraid. Now let's try and piece it together. Stroll is 5th on the grid. So he moves across, he's in the middle of the road, Charles Leclerc up alongside him, and again he just moves across. He gets airborne, he breaks front and rear suspension, but if Charles Leclerc has got away with that without any damage, then I'll be astonished, because that was quite an impact, and it lifted Stroll's car off the road, but he just moved right across on Leclerc, didn't he?
Do you not think that he was pushed into that by Pommer? A bit. That's how I, just looking at it, we'll look at it, have a look again.
He moves across. No, he's behind Pommer.
You're right.
He's behind him. Yeah.
From that angle, it looked different. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And I'm afraid to say that, again, that's Lance Stroll pulling a move without really being aware of what's around him, a bit like Spa.
Yes.
This time, he has been bitten worse than anybody, and Charles Leclerc appears to have got away with it.
If he's got away with that without damage, he's done jolly well, hasn't he?
In the Williams as well. Now, is that Max Verstappen right behind him? Verstappen's right behind Stroll. There is the Williams of Lance Stroll going off and onto the gravel.
Right rear damage as well.
Yeah, the soft tyre might be to get them to the end of the race. On board with Lance Stroll now. Let's have a look at what happened to him. And as you can see, that wasn't his fault.
Fair old thump there, didn't he? From the Force India that was inside him.
Got hit out of the race.
A real shame for Lance Stroll there. We can see on board now. This is Sergio Perez.
Sergio will say, I was alongside him, he should have seen me.
Massive disappointment for him, and there's a lot of debris on the track as well. This is going to bring out a safety car.
A car coming out of the pits then, I'd imagine.
Oh dear, Lance Stroll. That's an absolute disaster for him, and it doesn't look like his fault.
He's taking the racing line, pit exit, filters straight into the apex of turn 1.
Watch the white line, racing is to follow up at the pits.
tempted to say, hang on a minute, Carlos, you were behind him.
Yeah, sorry, Carlito. That's down to you, that one. Stroll had the corner, and he's not going to see you.
I got hit from the side. I got completely destroyed from the side. I don't know what happened.
I was in the middle of the corner. I just got a big thump on the side. So we're just so unlucky. I just hope my luck turns around soon. I mean,
That's why Sebastian Vettel backed off. He's had a really nasty bang. Now let's have a little look. This is after the race has finished. We're on the slowdown lap.
Vettel just ran right into the side of me.
Is that possible? Stroll is not looking where he's going. He completely shunted into my car.
It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen post-race.
By Verstappen, brilliant defence from Valtteri Bottas.
Bottas got his elbows out, he had to, and eventually Verstappen was...
There's a massive crash with Brendan Hartley, and he's got tangled up with Lance Stroll. And coming out of that chicane, Hartley got squeezed up against the fence, but Williams, an innocent bystander in that.
I'm a little bit surprised Brendan was out there, to be honest, but not as surprised as Lance Stroll was, clearly.
There is a packed grandstand of Lance Stroll supporters down at the hairpin, and the local hero didn't even get the chance to race past them.
Stroll got some oversteer in the middle of the corner. The back end stepped out. He had to countersteer. He had to turn into the slide, just like you do on an icy road, and that took him into the path of Brendan Hartley. Hartley pushing his luck on the outside of turn 5, I must say. And the Williams, so Stroll gets some oversteer in the middle of 5.
I'll tell you what, it was a brilliant start from Stroll to get ahead of the two McLarens to take him to the scene of this accident.
Yeah, Kvyat, you okay? I got a puncture. I think I got a puncture.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. He just ran me out of the road.
Rather think then it might have been Lando Norris's fault, that incident, from the way he was speaking there. But the safety car now deployed, and this is going to close the whole field up as through turn 1 went Lance Stroll and Lando Norris. Norris around the outside, and as he went into turn 2, Lance Stroll's got the advantage. Norris was trying to squeeze through, and yeah, he took out the racing point and himself.
I think Stroll probably thought he would yield, he'd give up on that, the McLaren behind him.
Hamilton has pitted. So behind Lance Stroll, here comes Max Verstappen. Is that DRS as effective as Max wants it?
Oh no,
they're going to crash! And they have! Oh dear. Lance Stroll is off into the gravel after tangling now with Max Verstappen.
I think he felt that he was going to assuming he was going to let him by.
I don't think you could really blame Max for that there, could you? Because
but
could he's looked at
I don't think he does.
earlier on in the straight.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet, but had he known he was there, he wouldn't have turned in.
So I don't know where I had to go. I was starting my lap. He just finished his lap. So
I don't know, we'll see.
I wasn't expecting anyone to be racing me into turn 1, so he let me through into the last corner, and then I expected him to take a gap, so I was.
But what has happened here to Lance Stroll? Out of the race and upside down.
It's going to be tyre face to tyre face coming out of the corner, relatively slow speed, and the rollover hoops are pretty capable of sorting all that out. So I'd imagine it's just going to be a front wheel and a back wheel getting together, and there it is. An AlphaTauri. Wasn't it?
That was Daniel Kvyat.
That's Kvyat's second contact in this race then. And almost the slow rollover. So Lance was a little bit under pressure there from Sainz. He's turned in,
and then crunch.
So he was losing time. Racing incident. I think that's fair enough there. Kvyat had it. There was a gap. Stroll was on his back foot a little bit. Touch ambitious from Kvyat. In fact, he didn't really commit to it. He just sort of left it there. He sort of hung his wheel.
Raining a lot, copy.
It's very wet.
Okay, let's box for inters then, box for inters.
I got hit.
Yeah, copy, box.
Yeah.
You can just see there Charles Leclerc ahead of him at that particular moment. Yuki Tsunoda on the inside of Lance Stroll, and he's lost bodywork. And I wonder if there's damage to the Aston Martin too. Yuki Tsunoda going down the inside, but there just wasn't the space, and that's a lot of bodywork coming off there.
He was not looking at all.
It was a touch over ambitious, that move, but...
Entry 6 for stability.
Here's DRS. Think about white button.
I got a hit.
Copy, we saw that, we're checking the car. So everybody behind has taken the flag.
What is this fucking idiot doing, man?
That's a good question.
God, it's...